Welcome to a special episode of Behind the Edit. I'm Lachlan Guertin.
I'm Tahlia Pritchard, and we just chatted to psychic medium Allison Maiden. Some reality TV fans may recognise her as a psychic who appeared on The Bachelor for Lockie Gilbert's season in 2020.
We really wanted to get her in the hot seat to predict the longevity of this season's couples and see what she thinks of their futures.
And full disclosure, Allison hasn't been watching this season of MAFS or any previous seasons either. She's not a huge reality TV fan. So she flicked through the commitment ceremony briefly, but that's all she knows about the couples so far. So her predictions today are really based on probably the next couple months of what their relationships are going to look like as they unfold on our TV screens.
Yes, obviously we've been watching this season. We know some spoilers about what's to come, but Allison has no idea. So I'm very excited for everyone to hear her predictions on how long she thinks the couples will last.
Also, you know me, I love psychics. I have gone to quite a few in my time, so I snuck a little question of my own in the end. Just for everyone to live through this experience with me.
Of course.
But let's get straight into the interview now.
Thank you so much for joining us today, Allison.
Oh, I'm so thrilled to be here, guys. It's wonderful.
Very excited to chat to you.
To start off, I guess we'd love to know more about your abilities and when you started practicing as a psychic.
I love the fact that you use the word abilities and not gifts. Because so many people say, oh, it's your gift. And I don't see it as that. I see it as an ability. So that's really awesome. Well done. You get a big tick for that one.
Thank you.
So I've been practicing as a psychic medium for about 44 years now. And I was very young when I first had contact. And I grew up in an environment where my mother was a psychic medium as well. So she encouraged and she trained me basically since I was able to talk and walk in contact, in spirit contact, and not to be frightened of it and to embrace, what actually goes on, because it's happening for a purpose. It's not evil or anything like that. Our head doesn't spin around when we channel or anything, but it's meant to be used for good and to help people. And so, my main directive for doing anything I do is exactly that. I do large shows all over Australia, and happy to say they're sellout shows where I actually do spirit contact and bring through people's loved ones. And there's lots of closure in that. And we've solved a few murders. Wow. Yeah, and we've actually found a missing person, and it's been an amazing ride. So far, so good. Wow,
that's incredible.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
It's kind of funny lead into my next question now, because we're just going to pivot straight to reality TV, but I want to hear about all this other stuff as well. But to get, I guess, the context of why we have you here today too is we want you to be looking at the Married at First Sight couples and seeing where you see their future going, whether it's together or separately. Mm-hmm. Are you a reality TV fan, or are you a Married at First Sight fan?
I'd have to say no, but I think in this instance that actually is a good thing, because I don't have any preconceived judgments of the people involved. And I think, coming as a reader, you're better off going in sort of cold and not actually knowing the people at all, because then you're not tainted by a personality dislike or whatever, and you're going straight from the heart into the heart of that person, because each person individually has got good points, obviously. There's just obviously layers of things on top of that cause issues, particularly in relationships. So I am quite fascinated by the whole concept of this, but not something that I would probably watch. No.
We saw you on The Bachelor a few years ago for Lockie Gilbert's season. You hadn't watched that previously either?
No.
Did you watch it after? Like after your appearance, were you like, oh.
No. No, I think, look, for what it is, I'm a firm believer that people always end up where they're meant to be. And so, for whatever it's worth for the people that go on there, their 5 minutes of fame, as we say, I think a lot of people are going on for the wrong reasons, and then when something actually happens that's really good for them, it's a bit of a shock, but people have to understand the universe will always place you where you are meant to be, whether that's on a reality TV show or on one of the many thousands of dating sites that are out, or out shopping. You're going to meet the right person if it's the right timing.
Oh, this is what I want to believe in. Desperately. Should we get straight into our couples then?
Well, straight away, I love Andrea. Her energy is just quite infectious. She's like I would call her a breath of fresh air, actually. I think Richard's absolutely head over heels in love with her. Absolutely. I'm getting tingles all over. Absolutely besotted. And I wouldn't expect that from a reality show, to be quite honest, but I think these two fell in love literally at first sight. So they could be your flag couple for this show, for sure. I think maybe they're at a time in their life when they want to be together with someone, like really absolutely truthful, absolutely wonderful relationship that is completely honest and open. They've got past all the ego stuff. So I think at the time of their life is perfect for this, and good on them. I do believe these guys will make a very big go of it and stay together.
Love to hear that. Fingers crossed.
Can I also just add, there's something really strong about Victoria coming up about them, but I don't know where they're from, but I get that coming in anyhow.
Okay. So Andrea's from Queensland and Richard's from New South Wales, but maybe they'll start a new life together.
Well, there's something about Victoria that's coming up there. All right, the next couple, Cassandra and Tristan. Cassandra is... How honest can I be? Totally.
Really honest.
Oh my gosh. She is so beautiful. She's really got a true heart, this girl, and she wants to help, but she's going to be pulling in all of the lame ducks in her life because she just wants to fix people. And I think Tristan needs a lot of fixing, hon. I honestly think he's a nice guy. He wants to do the right thing by people, but I do think that she is really trying hard to find the good she sees in him. I think she's quite intuitive and she actually picks up on the good soul that's there. But there's layers and layers of problems to get through. So, honey, Cassandra, I'd be running the other way. Anyway. Okay, Ellie and Ben. I think Ben's kind of looking for something, but he's not sure what. I don't think it's hit him yet, right? I think he's waiting for that bolt out of the blue. Ellie's lovely. She's a very attractive girl. She's got a good heart too. I actually think that she's probably too good for him. Oh my God, did I just say that? But I think these two will probably make a go of it, but I don't know that I could see it lasting more than 6 months. I feel like there's a lot of differences there that they're just really not on the same page, sort of thing. It's like what she wants out of her life and what he wants are two different things. And I think they'll find that after the enamours sort of rubs off a little bit, you know. Eden and Jaden, wow. His energy is really strong. Overpoweringly strong, actually. She's quite sort of level-headed. I think she likes a strong man. She likes the alpha male. I had the feeling that she is looking to him for protection, so he could provide that for sure. But I think the problem at the moment actually is that she's unsure about maybe the past, or I get this sort of energy around her. In his side, I feel guilt. I've got guilt coming up for him. On her side, there's a mistrust. So I think that he can't quite get over something that's happened to him in the past, and she's like still living in that past as well. So they both need to kind of get over it in order to move forward. I think they would make a go of it. I'm getting the feeling of about 3 months. So I don't know that it's going to be a long laster, I'm afraid. Not this one.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Lauren and Jonathan. Okay. What do you say about this? She's strong. Look out, mate. I'd say she would have very strong ideas on what she enjoys in her life, in all physical pursuits. Trying to make this nice. He's like, whoa, I don't think he knows what to do with it. She definitely needs to be the leader in the relationship, and she wants to be able to have a bit of a puppy dog that'll follow her around. Sorry, Lauren, being a bit harsh. I don't think he is really in it 100% for the relationship. I think he's more in it to see what he can get out of the exposure. But I think that these two might actually find some common ground in there. And I think that at the very least they're going to end up with a little bit of a weird friendship. He does seem to be confused by her, like where she's coming from. He's never met anyone as strong as she is before. And I think that has confused him quite a bit. So he's not too sure where to place himself as the man in the relationship, right? Right. Lucinda and Timothy. Nah. Lucinda, beautiful energy. She's glowing, this girl. Quite a spiritual girl.
Yeah.
I can see a lot of purple around her. She's really intuitive. She just loves too many things. She loves the butterflies. She loves the flowers. She loves anyone that comes across her path. She sees good in everybody, which is a wonderful place to be, except if you're in something like this.
Yeah.
Timothy, I think, very fake. I'm trying to crack him open, actually, but he's like got such a hard shell around him. Such a hard shell. Could be he might have some grief going on there because I feel he's really like guarding his heart. So probably not the great timing for him to be involved in this experiment. I don't know if he's just lost somebody, but I'm getting the feeling of a deep loss that he's not really willing to show the world. I think he has got some goodness in him, absolutely. He's very charming, he's very good looking. But I just think that the pair of them are like chalk and cheese. When they say opposite attract, I think that it might be the case in this case that she's very attracted to him, him not so to her.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, that makes sense. I guess for context too, we can add for our listeners that you've only seen a commitment ceremony episode and you don't know anything about the couples or anything else about the show. And in earlier episodes, Timothy has opened up about losing his dad, what was it, 5 weeks previously to going on the show.
Oh, poor thing. Oh,
yeah,
okay.
Yeah,
Fair
so
enough.
it's interesting that you like pick up on that energy and point that out as well.
Yeah, I think unfortunately for him, it's just bad timing, really. But he does feel very shut down. I think if he thought if he opened himself up to her, just a flood of tears had come out of him.
Yeah.
And I don't think that's probably the right timing. Okay, who have we got here? Sarah and Tim. Oh, I think he is a bit of a people pleaser. I think he really wants to make it work. He wants to do the right thing. That's a no for those two. Oh, you saved the best till last, Tori and Jack. If he can get out of the mirror long enough to look at her, he'd probably see that she's actually quite a decent human being. I think she's got a very good heart. I think she's very direct in her thinking about what she wants, and it's on paper, it looks fine, but it's all superficial. They're both very superficial people, but for different reasons, right? I think she's guarding herself because she wants things to be like, I need this checklist of what this person needs to look like, rather than falling in love with the soul. No, those two won't last.
So Collins and Natalie left the show. They only lasted, a couple weeks into it. Do you get any feelings about their separate futures or why they didn't work out other than what we've seen on the show, obviously?
Sure. Look, I really, Natalie is a sweet girl. What I do feel for her down the track is that she's looking for Prince Charming. Darling, he doesn't exist. Okay. And that she will find someone with the same interests as her. And this is really weird, but I can see Pokemon.
Right.
That is, I don't know why, but I can see Pokemon, but I have no idea why. What I do want to say about him is I don't think that she was his type.
If you look at the whole cast, do you have an idea of who you might think will be the breakout star or who will try and make a career from this appearance?
I think there's quite a few in there that are there for their 5 minutes of fame, but I do feel that the lass that I said was very strong-minded, very physical and that sort of thing, I think she's really going to try and get herself on as many different shows as possible.
Is that Lauren? Or
Lauren,
yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Interesting. She does have a different energy, I think, to what we've seen so far on this show, in the sense that she's quite a dominant person, but she's also very like proud of it too, which is great, to be honest. But like she, even in her edit, she's just like, they're not editing me to be a certain way. That's just who I am. And I kind of love that. She's just like completely unapologetic at this point.
Right.
You said before when you were reading one of the couples that you picked up, Lucinda, I think it was like a purple energy, was it? Or a purple aura. Is that what you usually kind of get a vibe for when you're meeting people or reading people that you...
Yeah, I've always been able to see
associate with
auras. So it's something that I mean, it's probably too long to go into on your podcast, but colours all have a meaning, and it just depends on which chakra. And we joked today about the fact that we all end up in a green or a version of green. Green is the heart chakra, and we're dealing with love today. So it's sort of a subconscious thing that we pick our colours due to the energy that we need from them. Purple is the third eye, which is the psychic colour. So it's definitely around her. She's very intuitive. I would say that she's probably one of the free spirits that unfortunately don't actually make it to TV quite often. So I think it's wonderful that there's a representation of that in the show. And I think too, I just really feel sad for her that she hasn't been paired with someone that is a right fit, because I think that they might have done that deliberately.
Yeah, I think we've seen that on the show so far too, that she is trying really hard to kind of crack Tim open, and it's so far not panning out that way, which is kind of sad to watch.
Yeah, I think that, the connections that happen, like our first couple, very rare. And to be had through that kind of environment, that it shows people that there's actually hope out there for everyone, I think.
That's actually the perfect ending, because I was going to end on a personal question being like, I am striking out on the dating apps. I'm not meeting someone in real life. I was like, should I be on a show like Married at First Sight?
Darling, you just need to be patient, because the right one is coming for you. He comes from the UK. He's going to be English.
I love English men.
He's sort of about your height, and he's actually got sandy coloured hair, fair skin, blue eyes, a very nice disposition. He's educated, and he's going to be in Sydney very soon. But you just have to be patient, because he's just not been around. That's all it is.
I'll keep manifesting this. This is interesting too, because when I spoke to you, I did a phone interview with you about The Bachelor a few years ago when you were on the show, and you did tell me you were sensing a connection with London.
There you go.
So that just came to my mind.
My gosh.
Wow.
Okay, well, I would not have remembered that. Excellent.
Amazing. Thank you so much.
You're welcome, Allison. Guys.
Okay, I love psychics. I really do. And I felt like the whole time we were talking to her, I just had chills and goosebumps.
Especially because we've been watching the season. We know some things that happen with the cast, but she has no idea. So the things that she was saying, she was spot on.
I also love the part where she really was tuned into Lucinda's energy and light, and she mentioned the purple aura. We should have asked what colours we were.
Oh, I wish.
What colour do you think you would be?
Well, I don't know what the colours mean, because green is love.
Yes.
And then purple is spirituality. Besides that, I'm not too sure.
I think I'd have a black aura, like emo.
Surely that can't be good.
Little devil.
I thought it was really interesting hearing her predictions on how long people will last. Jack and Tori doesn't sound very good for them.
No. And also Jaden and Eden.
Yeah.
Also, we don't really know, and it'll be interesting to revisit the stuff she said later on as the season unfolds, but also like after the season ends, because we know the couples split up all the time. Sometimes they get back together. Remember, Mitch and Ella didn't make it through final vows, but then they came back together at their reunion. We might see that with people like Andrea and Richard, for example.
Maybe we should come back next year and see how this all unfolded. But thank you so much for tuning in to this week's bonus episode of Behind the Edit.
Make sure to tune in again Friday. We will be unpacking Intimacy Week on MAFS.
In the meantime, you can follow us on socials. All the links will be in the show notes, and we will see you on Friday. Behind the Edit is brought to you by Yahoo Australia, hosted by Lachlan, Guertin and Tahlia Pritchard. Produced by Caitie Browne. Social production by Alexa Tubertini. Yahoo Australia would like to acknowledge the Gadigal people of the Eora Nation, the traditional owners of the land on which this podcast was recorded, and pay our respects to elders past and present.